Eric?
All right. Thank you very much, Karina, and thank you all very much for having me. So let me get my my setup going here. All right. So, again, I'm Eric Mixon. I work with the Construction Engineering Research Lab, which is a part of Accredited and USACE. Specifically, I work with a team called the Sustainment Management System Technical Center of Expertise. So we provide tools, that provide sustainment management for the DoD. And I want to start, coming into this with a little bit of background. So this past October, we had the great privilege of being able to work with the Cloud Computing Program Office, CCPO, to leverage their DoD Cloud Infrastructure as Code for Azure product. So I'm kind of coming into this as we're a customer and a mission owner that is in the process of going through that modernization transition, where we're coming from on-premises tools and making that leap to the cloud. So I want to talk a little bit about how we've approached that transition, and then really talk about the DoD Cloud IAC that CCPO has provided and how that's impacted our mission and helped us make that leap. So very briefly, so what we do, as the SMS, we help installation managers sort of get the best bang for their buck, when they're trying to perform maintenance on their real property. We help them assess and analyze that data. And for this, that's all you really need to know moving forward for this presentation. So back in 2014, OSD mandated that all DoD agencies needed to use the SMS tools that we provide. So with that, of course, we've seen a large portfolio growth and a need to be flexible as we accommodate many of these agencies, sort of niches and needs. And so we've been going through quite the modernization effort, and not only with our software, but we knew we wanted to make that leap from on-premises infrastructure to a cloud environment. And this is where we start getting into kind of the meat of this presentation. So DoD Cloud IAC, CCPO approached us and kind of gave us this opportunity to participate in a pilot. And what they promised is a way to rapidly accelerate us getting off the ground into the environment and getting an accredited, authorized, configured platform for our mission application. So they really targeted helping people like us adopt the cloud faster, and that was their mission. And I want to talk a good bit about kind of some of the specific things that they provide, and then a little bit about how that's helped us. So and just as a slight note, you might hear me say the IAC moving forward. When I say that, I'm referring specifically to CCPO's DoD Cloud Infrastructure as Code for Azure, just as a note, so I don't have to say the whole mouthful every time. So at the highest level, we've got an Azure Blueprint, and this is a set of ARM templates for deploying and configuring your resources. Azure Active Directory with a sort of principle of least privileged identity model, pre-configured and set up, as well as a large list of Azure policies for doing your continuous validation and occasionally automated correction of your resource configurations. And from there, so again, this is a PaaS-focused environment. So I'll let you kind of peruse, the baseline services included in this package, but I want to talk to some of this. So for our case, with our modern software that we refer to as the ESMS, we do leverage several of these Azure App Services, for our web application. And the thing that really impressed me whenever we're working with CCPO is they're not just, providing a template for, configuring an app service in sort of the standard, HTTPS only is turned on. You're getting the full framework. You're getting your web application firewall, your app gateway, centralized logging, all of the core components for a DoD information system. They've thought it through, and it's all there and ready to go. It really was, for our case, just deploy the application. So I want to get in a little more detail into kind of some of those big pillars that they're helping for us. So obviously, with the nature of this being IAC, deployment automation kind of comes with it. And in our case, when we're initially approaching the possibility of acquiring our own tenant and going through the motion of learning what we needed to do to get this to be an accredited environment that we could deploy our application, CCPO kind of came in and said, hey, we've done that for you. Here's the template. We figured it out. We did the legwork. And so that design of the cloud networking environment, that identity model, the service configurations, it all packaged up and ready for us. And so what would have been 2 to 3 months of effort for us, they were able to come in, push a button, and give us that ready to go environment in a matter of hours. Next big pillar for the identity, there's full integration with DIS's new global directory, which brings DoD-wide CAC-enabled application authentication right into the environment right off the bat. This is integrated directly to the app services that we used. So just, and especially in our case, this, traditionally we've managed our own identities locally. We needed to modernize that, and this helped us kind of seamlessly make that step by erasing a lot of effort that we were going to have to cover on our own. Next big pillar, continuous monitoring. So with over 700 Azure policies in place, the DoD Cloud IAC is, you've got a real-time dashboard for checking the compliance of your entire enclave. It's all the standard security configurations across your services and resources are being monitored in real time all the time. And for us, obviously, this is just hallelujah. It's not scanning each individual system across the network, getting those reports. We've got one dashboard looking at all of our infrastructure all at once. So, and the next, this is a really big one. So the ANA, sort of workload, CCPO really wanted to kind of go the extra mile and minimize, the ANA sort of effort that would be required for applications in this environment. So with the environment it generates is already type accredited, and with that we can inherit a lot of those common controls, from their EMAS record. And you can see a lot of the stuff I've already talked to, the Azure Active Directory, and a lot of those kind of standard security practices that are built into the templates help us to cover a lot of those controls. And it's advertised here, 142 common controls, but I'm going to talk a little bit to the metrics of that ANA effort for us, because I think it really goes a lot further. So a couple additional things I want to talk to. Support for all unclassified impact levels, and I've been told that they are working toward the classified area as well. You'd have to talk to some of them to get clarification. Enforcement, centralized logging, a couple of these I already touched on. Of course, with the past focus environment, a lot of the common high-risk management plan protocols are being eliminated. But there's two here I really want to focus on, because I had a great appreciation for the value they brought to us, with the SMS team. The automated change management, because of the nature of IAC, and this kind of goes along with the deployment automation as well. But in our case, this solves a lot of just frustration for us, in that when we try to extend capability on our on-premises systems, there's always that headache of writing the contract, having a sysadmin stand up some new VMs, install software, make sure it's configured, and then when you come around to assessing it later, there's always, some misconfiguration or some misstep and just stuff that has to be remediated after the fact. But with the IAC, we really get to review those changes, right in the template and approve them, and then be assured that when we hit that deploy, that's what we're going to get out the other side, and it's going to be what we expect it to be. Just a transformation of kind of the process of managing infrastructure. And personally, I had a great appreciation for that benefit. So this is where I wanted to talk a little bit to kind of some of the metrics of that ANA process and how the potential for the DoD Cloud IAC on us, and that just this past December, we had to re-up our ATO for our current system supporting our customers, and it really was kind of a hands-on deck operation, or sorry, all hands-on deck operation. Having all of our sysadmins together, most of our team on the call or on hand and waiting to make sure we can get through all the state checklists we got to get through for these things we don't really, for our mission, don't want to have to worry about what operating system it's all running on, IE installed on all those operating systems. We don't want to have to be concerned about all that, but it's kind of comes with the territory of being on premises. So having that help to make that jump straight into the PaaS environment really minimize that boundary for us, so that instead of having more than a dozen people putting full-time effort into getting through an RMF assessment, we've got 2 stick checklists to worry about, and mostly just focusing on our application and our process. And you can take this with a grain of salt, as there was a lot of kind of intangible metrics I was thinking through when I kind of did the napkin math on this, but it's really almost a year of man hours that we get to invest into our customer instead of just getting through the assessment when looking at kind of that transformed cloud environment with our modernized software that we're planning to deploy. So just a huge help from CCPO's effort in just advancing us to that stage where we can be more secure and more focused on delivering to our customer. So just real quick recap. The big pillars that CCPO was trying to provide, and I believe they kind of nailed most of these. Accelerated deployment time, so taking that initial 2 to 3 months of designing that that infrastructure down to just a button click, having that legwork done for us. Reduced ANA burden, I talked a good bit to that already. Real-time continuous monitoring, all-in-one dashboard. Support across all impact levels 1 through 5, or sorry, unclassified impact levels 1 through 5 with, and I know classified to come later. And then the built-in fully integrated identity using the DISA global directory for DoD-wide CAC authentication. So that's it for the summary I have for this. I've got a link here if you want to go to the CCPO page to learn more about them or the DoD Cloud IAC. I've got a couple colleagues joining me here. So Logan Salmons from Microsoft, as well as Aaron Hunter from MITRE, who have been kind of working closely with CCPO on the effort to develop the DoD Cloud IAC. And if you have questions that you want to submit in the chat, they will be helping to address some of those. Thank you.
Eric actually has some really great questions from our participants today. The first one is why ARM templates over Terraform?
So the reason that Cloud IAC uses ARM templates is there are a few reasons actually. One is Cloud IAC is entirely Azure native. No third-party software, no third-party licenses are required to run it. Another reason why is that now with template specs, a new capability in Azure. The resource templates are first-class objects or first-class resources, and they can be manipulated and stored within resource groups, very easy and well supported to manage within the Azure environment.
Great. The next question I have, what is the envision process to iterate on these baselines as the threat landscape develops?
Yeah, another great question. The Cloud Computing Program Office and Microsoft Azure Government joined together in a collaborative research and development agreement supported by multiple vendors, including MITRE, the Aaron's from today, and will continue to provide, like 0-day or threat updates as required. And then we also update the baseline monthly, and those would also be published out in the Azure Marketplace upon publication and go live date.
Great. Thank you, Logan. The next question, can you elaborate on how you integrate with DISA's global directory? Is this using an open standard like SAML?
So the good news for mission owners on this front. So DISA's global directory, at least on the Azure government side, is natively integrated with Azure Active Directory. So that to use it, you need only add global directory users to your tenant, and then you can, set permissions for them locally. So DISA's global directory is providing authentication, but the authorization decisions for your applications and for your environment are made by you locally. But the integration is transparent, and it is connected at the back end directly to Azure Active Directory. So there is no configuration on your part. You simply add those global directory users to your tenant and you're good to go.
Great. A lot of great questions here. Are the IAF templates publicly available in some form?
Yes, absolutely. So currently you can go onto the CCPO website. Their new website is ccpo.mil, and up at the top bar you can click Programs, DoD Cloud IAC, and you can hit Contact Us, and we can reach out to you to talk about installing in kind of a private preview state. Otherwise, it will launch very soon within the Azure Government Marketplace in our Azure Gov Cloud, and that'll be available for all Azure Gov users.
Great. One more question coming in. What are the ecosystems of tools used for CI, CD, something like Azure DevOps, Jenkins, Pipeline? What other tools?
I can take that one. So as it stands right now, the DoD Cloud IAC is independent of any specific DevOps platform. You can use Azure DevOps, you could use GitLab or Jenkins. When other tools become available, for example, if Azure DevOps becomes available in Azure Government, that will be supported. But it's strictly ARM templates and a little bit of PowerShell, and the automation will run in any DevOps environment.
We have some more questions coming in. So I saw that Power BI reference in one of the slides. Is that integration seamless, and is it embedded or required, does it require a premium license?
So I can take that one. In our case with the ESMS application, we do leverage a premium license for Power BI for doing reporting within our application. We embed those reports, but in our case, we use a premium license.
Yeah, and to compound on that, when this is available within the Azure Government Marketplace, this offering will be for free, but any subsequent services that are generated based off this offering, like Power BI, you would need to either bring your own license or obtain a license within that cost. But we are offering, in the partnership with CCPO, we'll be offering this for free within the marketplace.
Logan, can you expand a little bit about the Azure Marketplace and the IAC on Azure, DoD Cloud IAC on Azure.
Yes, absolutely. So because of the partnership that we have with the government, it will not be available on Azure Commercial because it will be for federal use only. That'll be for federal users or federal contractors within the government. And so to stipulate that, we did decide to put it within our Azure Government Cloud. That's the Microsoft Azure Gov, or MAG, as it's commonly referred to in the industry, because though every user there goes through a process utilizing Microsoft's government validation system to ensure that we maintain a rigid security standards within the government cloud. Within that Azure Gov Cloud, they'll be able to go into the public marketplace and they'll be able to type in DoD IAC, or just infrastructure or infrastructure as code, and we'll be the first one that pops up. Our beautiful logo is here behind me. You'll see those available on multiple sites in the coming days and weeks throughout Azure as it becomes available. And you'll click on there. From that point, you'll bring that into your subscription from your marketplace, and it'll deploy there, and instructions will all be grouped together within that deployment into your own subscription.
So we're expecting that to be available in Marketplace in the next coming weeks, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We are continuing to test out and finish. We have some user experience updates that we would like to do to push that out. So we are continuing to do deployments. We had a government customer today that we deployed with. That deployment went very well. So again, we're happy to start talking and engaging early and often, but it will become available for the masses, within the coming weeks. And Karina, your team will actually do the blog post for us. So everyone on this channel and on many more will see the blog post coming from Microsoft Azure when that is available.
Yes, and we'll be sure to share it on our hashtag Azure Gov Meetup. So stay tuned, everyone. Any other questions? Is there any concern using blueprints since they're in preview?
No. No, to answer that very simply, no. We actually have no concerns using it since they're in preview. The Blueprint Marketplace, or the Azure Blueprint catalog, continues to be expounded. It is available within Microsoft Azure Gov as well as other clouds as well. It maintains the tightest security standards that are available and has been authorized. So we absolutely love using those and contributing to those as well.
Then one more question: How well do these integrate with ExpressRoute or hub spoke VNets?
I can talk to that. So part of the Cloud IAC does include a blueprint to set up an outer boundary with ExpressRoute and hub and spoke VNets. That's part of the basic architecture, specifically designed to connect to the cloud access point. So that's ready to go out of the box.
Great.